And another wild ride this morning on Wall Street as the market reacts to President Trump's tariff policies. U.S. stocks are down this morning, and the White House remains insistent that tariffs will work for the economy. Trump threatened even higher tariffs against China as the two countries continue to trade threats. And President Trump says foreign leaders are calling and trying to make deals as his sweeping tariff plan takes hold. 10% across the board tariffs kicked in this weekend ahead of harsher reciprocal tariffs around 90 countries scheduled for Wednesday. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Stocks went on a bumpy ride after Monday's opening bell as markets continue to reel from President Trump's tariff strategy. The president on board Air Force One Sunday night said he's not backing down.
I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something.
On social media, President Trump urged Americans to be patient, saying, "Don't be a panican," a new party based on, quote, weak and stupid people. But some Republican lawmakers are joining Democrats in sounding the alarm over an escalating trade war. GOP Congressman Don Bacon of Nebraska says he's introducing a House version of the bipartisan Senate bill to reassert congressional control over trade policy.
If we continue to see the stock market go a certain direction, or if we see inflation or unemployment shift in a bad way, I think then this bill becomes a very viable bill.
President Trump says he spoke with Japan's prime minister this morning ahead of reciprocal tariffs taking effect Wednesday. White House officials say more than 50 countries have called the president to try to negotiate.
They're dying to make a deal, but I said, we're not going to have deficits with your country. We're not going to do that because to me a deficit is a loss.
Today, the first foreign leader to talk tariffs with President Trump in person will be Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visiting the White House this afternoon. The U.S. ally is set to be hit with a 17% reciprocal tariff later this week. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
I think we're hearing from a big segment of the economy. The consumer spending is a big part of GDP, and they're worried.
Washington Senator Maria Cantwell introduced bipartisan legislation which would put limits on a president's ability to impose tariffs without the approval of Congress. The bill is called the Trade Review Act. It would require the president to notify Congress before enacting tariffs, which would expire within 60 days without congressional approval.